Sydney Sweeney is stepping into the press tour for her upcoming movie, The Housemaid, alongside co-star Brandon Sklenar. He also was co-star of Blake Lively in It Ends With Us, playing her high school boyfriend. Not a lot of people know that, but he's an up-and-coming star, I would say.
I mean, he's no Glenn Powell.
He's no Glenn Powell, that's for sure.
Call me biased.
But it appears that Sydney Sweeney is going back to her successful marketing strategy of selling a showmance to the public. She is posting a video of her and Brandon Sklenar where he picks her up, he foists her up on his shoulder and shows off how strong he is, and they're giggling. And everyone is thinking, this looks familiar. This looks like exactly what you did with Glenn Powell when you leaned into these dating rumors in order to sell your rom-com, Anyone But You.
And nobody loses more than her fiance.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, she did postpone their wedding again. I mean, I don't know if it's her, but they have postponed their wedding again.
They confirmed a couple of weeks ago, actually, that Sydney Sweeney and her fiance delayed their wedding that was supposed to take place this May until an undetermined date in the future because she's so focused on work. And she's also so focused on her colleagues that she's working with, apparently. And people think that either Glenn Powell or Brandon are coming in between her and her fiance and their relationship. Let's take a look at this video, though.
So this is this one, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, here we go, guys. That was an unfortunate pause I had there.
Yeah.
Muting. Not getting copyrighted.
This is the trend, though. I see a lot of girls doing this with their boyfriends.
I saw that. I mean, that was actually one of those things where she could have very easily fallen over the back there, and he would have had to catch her by the... Have you ever seen the videos of, like, stunt gymnastics with the spotters where they just pick the girls up and throw them around? The falls are crazy. Like, the women that do that are fearless.
He was giving male cheerleaders. And then carries her out of the room.
Yes.
Like that.
And her husband's like, sure, why not?
You know, it's funny because... he kind of looks like a stunt double for Glenn Powell.
He does.
He basically looks like a guy who would get hired as the stuntman for Glenn Powell.
He does.
It's giving Fall Guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's not. He's the Ryan Gosling of, but not Ryan Gosling.
Also, the Housemaid, the movie that they're in together, is not a rom-com. So why are you marketing it as if it is one? It's a psychological thriller where she plays a young housemaid that's hired by this insane married couple. It's Brandon Sklenar playing the husband, Amanda Seyfried playing the wife, and I guess she gets entangled into some kind of psychological horror show.
I mean, is she like a one-trick pony with her marketing techniques? She's like, this is what people will believe. You know,
I mean,
she'll
if
move
this
on.
is what it takes to get people into theaters for something, I can't blame her. It worked one time. Why not try again?
Maybe she'll move on to like Fake Addiction for one movie.
Oh yeah, Total Crash Out.
Like a movie was
like
so
Lohan.
emotionally scarring that it turned her into an addict. And then what'll ironically happen is years from now, they'll make a movie about how ironically her best role was never the movie itself, but the promotion for the movie.
You know, maybe this is where her acting skills shine, is off camera.
Yeah. Well, that's actually not to draw everything back to a TV show, but there was in the show Leverage, the character of Sophie, who was like a world-class grifter, the best actress in the world as long as she's committing a crime. Anytime she's actually on stage, she's absolutely awful and can't act at all. Like she's really, really bad.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what it is. She's just like Sophie Devereaux from Leverage.
Back in January, Sydney Sweeney was also getting clowned on for stepping out with Brandon Sklenar in New York City. They were spotted at a Broadway show together. Nothing work-related, just friendly stuff. On social media, fans speculated about Sydney Sweeney's relationship status and discussed her admitted marketing strategy of stirring up romance rumors. Brandon Sklenar has himself been dating a personal trainer named Courtney Salviolo as far back as 2022. And Sydney Sweeney herself has been with her current fiance since 2018.
Yeah, forever.
A long, long time ago. She is a forever girlfriend.
That's a long... Wait, they've been engaged for that long?
They have not been engaged for that long, but they've been together for that long.
That'd be a long time to be engaged. But 2018, so that's like, what, 7 years? I have no idea.
Yeah,
6
there's
years?
just no excuse to be dating for 7 years. None whatsoever.
I mean, in that industry, given the divorce rates, I'm sure... maybe better to date for 7 years than to get married and then immediately divorced.
Well,
I'm just thinking pragmatically here.
She was with this guy, Jonathan Davino, who's a restaurateur, since before she was big deal Sydney Sweeney, and she was more so a small-time actress. And I'm sure that it's nice to be with someone who understands you prior to fame. But I see, if even Sydney Sweeney can be relegated to the prison of a forever girlfriend, can any of us be spared? I mean, is there really hope?
That's the same thing.
Is there really
say.
hope out there?
That's the male equivalent to that is like Jeff Bezos got broken up with, so did Bill Gates.
Well, Jeff Bezos cheated on his wife, so
I don't even, was that ever proven?
Yeah.
Did he admit to that?
The screenshots that came out of him sexting Lauren Sanchez were from when he was married.
Oh, they weren't separated or anything like that?
No.
It's like the most non-robot. Oh, I'm thinking of Zuckerberg. It's like that'd have been the most.
Zuck is faithful.
Yes.
As far as
Zuckerberg seems to be the most.
Yes.
You know what it is? It's because he came up in the era of the manic pixie dream girl. He realized what he had and he stuck with it. He's like, I'm not going to lose it.
He loves Priscilla with all his heart.
He does.
His cold, dead, robotic heart.
His you know what it is? I bet you one day he started wearing different clothes and she got freaked out. You think that happened? Because he was famous for he wore the blue shirt every day, wore the same thing every day.
You stick with the nerd and eventually he'll have a glow up.
I mean, you stick with the nerd and eventually his company will go public.
Both. Both and. But I personally am in favor of Sydney Sweeney doing the showmance marketing strategy.
It's very old school Hollywood.
It's old school. It's a callback. It's successful. It works. It's a proven strategy. It's fun for everyone involved. It's not something that needs to be taken too seriously. And I also think that she should dump her fiance because he won't marry her.
I mean, do we know that it's him not marrying her? Do we know that did she hit it big and then suddenly she's like, pump the brakes?
Well, in that case, why are you even still with him? If you think that you're such a big deal now and you don't need him, why stay engaged?
That's another order of logic. That's farther down the line. I'm saying we don't know who is not putting the wedding forward. Clearly, the guy likes her. Otherwise, he wouldn't put up with her.
Or fake relationships. Fake relationships.
Like, he's clearly kind of simping.
Okay.
Because he's putting up with the fake relationships.
That's an interesting take.
I mean,
because Glenn Powell was with some supermodel at the time of Anyone But You, and they broke up months later because of all the rumors that were circulating about him and Sydney Sweeney.
So do we know who is responsible for putting off the wedding? Because I refuse to I refuse to blame either one of these until we know for a fact that he's like, honey, I want to get married on this day, and she's like, you know what? I'm filming a movie that day. And then every time he lists a date, she goes out and fight. Her whole life now is finding new movies to make so that she can be busy whenever her husband wants to get married.
I'm just picturing her taking her fiance to work dinners, and he starts a conversation with Brandon Sklenar, and he's like, so what do you do for a living? And he's like, I'm a restaurateur. And Brandon is like, oh, cool. I played one of those in It Ends With Us.
It's
So I know all about the industry, bro.
That's one of those things that they always use whenever they have meta characters in shows where an actor is in a movie as an actor. It's an actor is being questioned by the cops. He's like, don't test me. I played a cop on this show for 3 seasons.
He starts
I know my rights.
Doing CPR on someone. I played a doctor once. Yeah.
Look, I am not willing to cast this dude out as the problem until we find out who is responsible for holding off the wedding. I would say that if
his name is Jonathan.
If anybody's life has changed more drastically, that would indicate that change. It's hers, not his. His life seems to be pretty consistent. Suddenly now she's all big. She's like, look, I'm on Euphoria. I can't get married right now. Yeah. So I'm in Anyone But You. I can't get married right now.
I think her fiance was cool with the Glenn Powell rumors because Glenn Powell is notoriously a strict gentleman.
Of course. I showed you that earlier where apparently at the 2023 Critics' Choice Awards, Amanda Seyfried, she had a wardrobe malfunction and...
she said her boobs fell out.
I mean, I was like, I didn't see any boobs in the photo.
Her boobs fell out.
There weren't really any there, but... From what was there, apparently Glenn Powell jumped to the rescue and covered her up, and she says, he didn't look, I don't think. And I'm like... there was nothing. I mean, technically he had to know. He had to look, otherwise he wouldn't have known something went wrong.
Right. Yeah.
Bro caught a sneak peek, was like, meh, and then was like, meh, here you go.
Moved on with his day.
Moved on with his day.
I saw a similar clip of Millie Bobby Brown and who was this co-star?
Oh, no, it was Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt,
Where
yeah.
he walked in front of her because she was wearing a dress
Right.
and she had to sit up.
Or she had to stand up in this short skirt
yeah.
and he like had to cover her from the
I mean,
photos.
that makes me question whether fashion and function really work together.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. If you are wearing a dress where at any moment your boobs could fall out, maybe just wear a better dress, you know?
I mean, though, who was the one who had it was Jennifer Lopez had the very famous dress where people learned the meaning of double-sided tape back in the early 2000s.
I guess I wasn't around for that.
Yeah, and people were like, what's holding it up?
Double-sided
tape.
I think Kim Kardashian popularized that.
There you go.
Personally,
So, as we know, Glenn Powell is the future of Hollywood. So, and here's the thing. Those stories it's like the story I was telling you about Chris Van Vliet yesterday, saying like, he's like, I talked to Tom Cruise and it was it was unnerving how it's like, he's looking you dead in the eye and nobody else in the world matters but you in that moment. If you want to know what that's like, talk to Ian. Ian is the same way here.
Absolutely.
When Ian talks to you, like you're like, I only dream of family members and future loved ones giving me the attention that Ian is giving me right now.
And I said Ian would thrive as a Scientologist.
He would.
Truly. Yeah, so it's true. Showmance sells, romance sells, and most importantly, sex sells.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.